Hey everyone, welcome back to HQ in the Know with Adam So Fun. That's me, Adam So Fun, Adam Ratliff. And today we are going to talk about the Handi-Quilter Amara 20 and the Handi-Quilter Forte 24. Again, they're basically the same machine, except the Forte is the larger twin who was born the day before, so it's a little bit bigger. It lives on the Gallery 2 frame, whereas the Amara is going to live on the Studio 2 frame. But feature-wise, these machines do everything the same. So we're going to talk and jump into these features, some things that the Handi-Quilter does really great, and some things that they brought to these machines from the Infinity, which I love. One thing you're not going to be able to see on the camera, it just doesn't film good, but we have a laser light at the needle. So I always tend to forget that because I'm so used to it with my Infinity, but that was one of the features they brought down from the Infinity, was that laser light. So now I know exactly where that needle's going to go in when I needle down, needle up, or if I'm using the Prostitcher. We're not going to jump into Prostitcher in this video because this is just features of the Amara itself, but you can put Prostitcher on any of our machines except our stationary machines. So let's talk about this. This is our Amara screen. I have a big tablet here, that's Prostitcher. If you didn't have a tablet, you'd have a smaller screen about this size, and that's gonna cycle through all of your features. First, let's talk about the ways we stitch. This machine can stitch up to 2,500 stitches per minute and anywhere from 4 to 24 stitches per inch in regulated mode, which is awesome. I mean, those 24 stitches an inch is pretty small, but when you're doing some really delicate or compact stitching to make texture somewhere else, then this machine is great for that. We can stitch in manual mode and we can stitch in regulated mode. Handi-Quilter offers some great regulated options. I know some people out there love to stitch in manual. Me, I love regulated. I paid for a regulator and I'm gonna use the heck out of that regulator. Regulated modes with the Handi-Quilter machines, we have two different ways we can regulate. We can regulate precision, which is when I hit start, that needle doesn't move. It only moves when I move that machine. So it is very precise. As I move, if that gets far enough to take that next stitch, it's going to take that next stitch. There's also a regulated mode where you set the bottom speed. So this is the way I like to stitch. If I'm using rulers, I set that speed really slow. So I know when that needle's moving, which in my mind tells me if the needle's moving, I'm not allowed to move a ruler. So I get used to turning the machine on and off. If I'm free motion quilting, I bump that speed up. So as I'm going in and say I'm doing a swirl pattern, when I get to the center and curl out, when I take that little breath and hesitate just a little bit, the machine's still gonna stitch in that point. So I'm gonna get really nice sharp points. Or if I'm doing stars, I'm not gonna cut the points off the stars, which you could get in the precision if it was laid out just right. So we have 3 different ways to stitch with our manual and our 2 regulated ways. These have a tie-off feature where I can hit a button on my handlebar and it will do a tie-off. I like to tie off at like 5 stitches. They're really micro stitches. So we've all ripped out thread and quilting. It's not going anywhere. Those tie-offs are gonna work. Needle up and down. We have our easy set tension on these machines. So it gives a number to our tension. So right now our easy set tension is set at 60. If I turn my tension dial, you can see this number. You can't see it, you're probably not close enough, but this number is gonna go up and down. And the idea is that you set your bobbin, and if your bobbin's always set the same, and this is using Floriani today, the Floriani was set and its tension number was 60. So anytime I use Floriani, I should be able to be right around 60 and my tension should work. If I switch thread, maybe I switch to some, some Omni thread. It's gonna act a little bit different, work a little bit different. This number might need to be set to 38, who knows? You'd have to set it, it's not the same for every machine is different. But when you get that, you kind of jot it down in your little notebook and say, okay, Floriani is 60, Omni is 38. And if you're switching between the two, you're just turning this dial until the number gets, the number's right. So it makes setting tension so much easier because you have a frame of reference. You have something to go back to. There's a Bobbin Alarm indicator. So you can go in and say you have your favorite thread. Maybe your favorite thread is bottom line. And you only use bottom line super bobbins that are pre-wounds. You can set this and say, come in here to our settings screen, go to our bobbin indicator, type in super bob, you record a bobbin, so you use a whole bobbin up, come back in here when the bobbin's done, stop recording, it's gonna give it a number, and then as you quilt, you get a countdown clock, basically. And when you see this and it says 5, and you are about to start your next row of edge-to-edge quilting with your Prostitcher, if this says 5, you know you're gonna run out of bobbin threads. You can change that bobbin before. It's a super nifty feature to have because you're not running out of bobbin in the middle of your edge-to-edge passes anymore. What else do we have? So those are our stitch regulators. Oh, we have such great lighting on this machine. We have 2 light bars that can be dimmed, so you can dim it up and down, which I love because if you're working on like white or black, sometimes you need a little less light and a little light coming from a different way so you can actually see that texture you're making, and you can see the stitches you're stitching if you're using the same color thread. Oh, handlebars. Let's talk handlebars really quick. These are adjustable handlebars that adjust independently of each other. So we have 2 little screws on both sides, I guess not little, but I can loosen this up and now my handlebars can sit straight up. I can tilt them down. I can telescope them out. So if you're a little shorter, you can pull them out to make those handlebars longer. I can loosen the one in the back, and now I have micro handles right down here, so if I'm doing micro stippling or little stitching, I have everything right at my needle, so it gives me a little more control. I'm gonna tighten these back up. On our handlebars themselves, we have some buttons. We have needle up and down, a start and stop. We can adjust our stitch length up and down with our plus and our minus, but we also have this star and a diamond button, and those are programmable buttons that I can program them to be. My star on my home machine is a tie off, so I can hit that star and it will do the tie off. I believe I have needle up and down on my diamond, but you can have tie offs, needle up and down. Let's see what other things we can have on there. They're all in here, and it's super easy to change them. Start and stop, you can have them to increase or decrease your stitches. Just a button push and you have those settings set up just for you. If you're left-handed, you can make the star a start and stop, and now you don't have to come over here and use your left hand to start and stop that machine. So Handi-Quilter's really thought of everything to bring all of those settings and make everybody comfortable when they're long arm quilting. 20 inches of throat space. We have the dual thread tower in the back, so you can have 2 different threads going through the needle at the same time. Super fun applications if you're using like a shiny thread or a metallic with a matte. Just a different look. Again, you're gonna use your needles and do the appropriate things there so you can set everything up to have the most success possible. We have our interchangeable feet. So any of the Handi-Quilter feet can be put on this machine or on the Forte. Super easy. It's just loosening a screw and changing those feet out. I am a big fan of feet. I change them all the time. I use rulers on almost every quilt, so I have the Surefoot, which is our ruler foot. And then I can pop it back on if I'm doing edge to edge, so I can use my rulers and my Surefoot to base down the sides, and then I can put my glide foot on, stitch my edge to edge, and everything works out really great, especially since it's so easy to change. What else am I missing? We have our virtual hand wheel here that actually works. Just some settings and diagnostics things. All right, and lastly, let's talk about the bobbin. Handi-Quilter machines use an M-size bobbin, so we have that nice big bobbin, so less bobbin changes. There's also a light in the bobbin area on these machines, so you can see what's going on. We suggest you use some canned air, blow out that bobbin area because there is that light. We don't want you to go in with a brush and get all that lint out and then unplug your light. So just some canned air. And one of the other great features about Handi-Quilters that I don't think gets talked about enough is upkeep. What do you have to do as a Handi-Quilter owner to make sure this is running properly? We oil the bobbin. We do 1 drop of oil every bobbin or every 2 bobbins, depending on how much stitching you're doing between the 2. That's it. Everything else gets taken care of when you bring it in for service. And remember, if you get a machine here at Stitchhouse, you get a year of free service for that machine. So they'll take care of that stuff. You're just gonna oil that bobbin. And yeah, that is our Amara and our Forte. Remember, the only difference is gonna be the frame and the extra 4 inches of the Forte. So you're gonna save time in the long run with the Forte. Amara is our #1 seller though. So if you have more questions, put them in the comments, call the shop. you know how to get a hold of us. And like always, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, Stitchhouse Texas. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Go follow me, Adam's So Fun, and that's SEW on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Hey, like and subscribe to my channel too. Go watch the videos and thumbs up all the way. We're only thumbs upping in 2021, in case nobody told you. It's all about positivity this year. Look back or keep an eye open for that next video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.